might be a bit too hot for me to keep wearing this, but I wanted to have it at the start. I was gonna put my hat on, my drawing hat, and it seemed appropriate to have the jacket also. So, I did it. Even if I regret it later. So, yes, today, as is the usual at this time, working on Computer Girl. I almost said the name Cannonball, because that is the comic that I was prepping for print, which is this one. Written by the same chap, and the art done by me, like this one. So, this one, you should be able to order very soon. And I'll let you know the ways you can do that when it's fully ready. I'm, making sure the new prints come through, and then and then the website where you can order them from a different printer, all that set up. Anyway, so let's get to work on this comic that we have right here. So earlier today, here's this page which I prepared earlier. It's a page I've been working on off and on for a little bit, but yeah, I worked more on it today before the stream. So I'm expecting that I should at least get these bottom panels all inked. I need to revise this top one a little bit, especially with the robot in the corner. I'll probably do that at a different time, because it's hard for me to pull up my 3D reference while I'm streaming. And yeah, see, it was already too hot. Too hot for the jacket. But I had it. Helped me get in the mood to start. And as usual, yeah, it's a little hard for me. It's hard for me to start. And so let that be a lesson to those who want to be artists. Sometimes you gotta just do it even when you're not feeling it. That's often how my streams have been for probably the last couple weeks. But then once I actually get into it and get going, it tends to flow pretty well. Which isn't me trying to be cocky. Like I haven't done as much work on like this project in particular as I probably could have. But I just wanted to be honest and aware and express to those who, like, as young artists, it's easy to believe it's easy to just churn out art if we only have the chance. And sometimes that's not true. Sometimes it's very much true. More opportunity is nice. But sometimes you just gotta do it. Actually, I've said this before. It's been a while since I said it, but that was actually why one of the main reasons I started streaming at all was to give myself a reason that I basically had to do art. And in particular, my comic projects. Because I was, not doing them consistently. So, it's been good as far as that goes. Keeps me honest. One thing is, one thing I can talk about. That makes it sound like I can't talk about other things. I'm under the witness protection program. I'm not actually allowed to reveal much. No. It's really hard for me to get back. I feel like that's a lot of what I talk about, is what's hard for me. But that's often what I'm thinking of right that second. If it's going well and I'm in the groove, it's harder for me to remember to even say anything on stream. Whereas if I'm having difficulty, then I'm already drawn a little bit out of my phase, out of my element. But one thing that's been interesting in this is Chad, the author, doesn't like ruler straight lines, which I can understand, especially when they're just too crisp or whatever. So what I've been doing is trying to draw straight lines and follow perspective guides and stuff without using the solid ruler, which I agree makes it have a little bit more of a dynamic quality of artwork, but it's also a little harder to draw, especially when I had gotten in the habit of just using rulers a ton. So it might be better for me too to not be using them for a while. Don't have a crutch, but they're so nice and fast. So now I'm erasing where they cross over. And then I'll just add in some of the little wood planks. Okay, those curve a little too much. There we go. There's most of an entrance to a cool cabin house. Also, yeah, I find it interesting how I can think I'm drawing a straight line and then I scroll back and I'm like, never mind, I can't. That is not a straight line that I just drew. Which sometimes makes them more interesting. I do agree. cut and paste his head. And then I'll trace it. Look at that big head. There's a weird thing Procreate's been doing. Whenever you try to resize a thing where you selected, it then also puts it back where you like first grabbed it from. Like it counts it as like the layer it is and the layer it was. Back on just to get some of the proportions correct. I think I made him a little too skinny in the sketch. Yeah. Anyway, but that is also just a sketch. I've turned that into the rough approximation of where his head should be. All right, but then one thing that's a good challenge for me this year and with this project is getting over a sense of trying to be getting perfection and like twisting and modifying things so that they fit within the space they need. So like right here, his head would bump up against this beam, but that would create a weird tangent, so I'm going to make his head a little bigger right there, just so he fits better. And then of course his coffee mug should be front of his hand, not like off to the side. Also, I realized this coffee mug handle needs to be stretched a little bit because right now it's just up at the top and you can barely fit 2 fingers through. So, coffee mug candle stretch. There we go. There we go. steaming coffee. Going outside. Let's picking up a little bit more of this. Okay. While I'm at it, I'm gonna just cut and paste that shot into the pencils for the next page. I think it's the next page, yeah. Where little can't even think of her name now. What's her name? It's not Lily. Lily is the bot? I'm totally spacing on what Computer Girl's actual name is. I know her. Hello. I know her super secret identity name, Computer Girl, but I don't actually remember what her birth name is. Sophia, thank you. I figured that would get you to talk if you were here. Thank you. It has been too long. All right. Oh, no, you're good. You are good. I was just wrapping up this panel with Steve walking out onto the porch. And now I'm going to draw him going into the barn. Oh yeah, Levi today on Instagram. When I posted, where's the panel? This panel of Steve working on his laptop, I'm like, what do you think this fellow's up to? And Levi says, no good. There are. I was thinking it's kind of a nice two-door thing. Is that not correct? Yeah, here we go. Like a double door, double front door. Cool. Now moving on to the barn. Oh no, you're good. So this is one part that was hard for me to figure out how to draw, even with the reference I had, because basically the couple parts of the barn roof, like, they line up weird in perspective, and so you can't see parts of them, but then it doesn't look right. So I'm gonna have to be figuring out exactly what that needs to look like here with the inks. Okay, that doesn't actually look too horrible. Okay, see you in a minute. Well, I see that this is now way too thin. Laptop should have a trackpad. Oh, okay. That can certainly be adjusted. Soon we'll see. I was gonna say soon we'll see the windows. Right here we see the windows where our little friend Sophia will be embarked on a great adventure soon. I'm trying to simultaneously remember and make up a robot design. I had a basic idea for this guy, and now I just gotta flesh it out a little bit. Although I guess this scene is gonna be pretty dark, so we probably don't need to see too much of him. Is a some sort of harvest carrying or food carrying robot. Excuse me. Hey, Owlbear Inn and Gypped Raccoon. How are you all doing? How went the ore finding? Thanks for the raid. Success. Oh, you got some? Nice. So if you've got the ore you need, what is the next project then? Is it house building? Weapon building? Farm robot building? Build some farm robots. Look, I've even designed them for you. Probably shouldn't be putting this much detail into it, which I realized afterwards, because it's gonna be nighttime. Gotta get iron stuffs. Replace iron. Oh, okay. So would you just have a bunch of wood tools before? And now it's iron tools. Bronze, okay. Now, how much of the tech tree in that game is like a requirement as like achievements to unlock, and how much of it is really helpful to have because otherwise you're stuck, without as good tools? Because I would think with bears or whatever else you might have, bronze is not a shabby material, but I don't know in what way there's necessities. It's all pretty required, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Well, actually, so I guess that's another question. How much of the game itself, since alas I am still rather unfamiliar with it, how much of it is an open world thing, and how much of it is set quests and achievements? Or is it a mixture of both? Mix of both. Okay, nice. I feel like that's a good combination for video games like Skyrim and Breath of the Wild. Or D&D. I'm excited for Sunday. That should be fun. Yeah, I should tell people about that. So Sunday, Emily, also known as Zelda Elf 90 Cosplay, and myself will be guest starring again over on Owlbear Inn. We've both been guests over there. They've been gracious and amazing enough to have both of us, but at different times. So now we should encounter our characters at least somewhat together. I suppose they still might avoid running into each other specifically, depending on how the night goes down. But that'll be cool. She'll be playing her. Aw, thanks, Fawn. Me too. Yeah, I'll be revisiting Wisp, the Air Genasi merchant sorcerer. Not that a lot of the characters in-game know I'm a sorcerer. And then Emily will be revising her role, which she played this Sunday, of Sabria, I believe is how she says her name. The drow... Actually, I don't even remember what class she is. The drow is something or other. Mr. Raccoon could probably tell you if he wanted. But yeah, that'll be fun. So yes, I'm going to tone down some of the detail on these parts over here. Just try to create a sense of robot parts, because ultimately this scene is going to be kind of in shadow, so I don't need to see a whole lot. Alchemist Artificer. Okay. Oh, is that like a... Does that mean she's... I forget. Is Alchemist a subset of Artificer? Or does that mean she's multi-classing? It's a subset. Okay, cool. Who knows if we'll ever see more of this robot again. But that's okay, because he's just a broken robot in the... by the dad's workshop, at least at this point. Also, I'm really curious to find out what happens with Zerai, because that was a doozy of a end last time. Good thing you didn't kill him. That'd be even worse than taking control of a character, killing the character when he's not even there. Try to have him not be so slumped shoulder and just have. Yeah, you said you like discovered a spell that would help you with that. When did you discover that spell? Not to say what it is, but just when did you find out about it? And by the way, yes, if anyone is interested in D&D, you should go check out Owlbear Inn. It's a fun, crazy party, and Murray is an excellent creative DM. He has all sorts of stuff ready and a whole world built, and such fun acting. Something else nasty and stumbled on it. Oh, great. Alright. So there's most of the barn. I did just remember I need to make a weather vane. But it is actually at my hour stopping point, at least for my drawing hand, to have a quick rest. With all you guys here, I might actually turn it off, change leaders really quick. Thanks! But then maybe stay on and chat if you guys want to talk about anything or have any questions. Probably take a 15-minute break from the drawing still. Thank you. Yeah, the buildings are interesting and fun. That barn door looks like it's a little off kilter though, which could be fine. So yeah, I'm gonna switch it to break, but be back in. I'll probably be back in 5. Would be my guess. So see you soon. Okay, I'm back. Who's still here? What should we talk about? For a few minutes while I continue to rest my hand. Hello there, General Kenobi. We could talk Star Wars. Star Wars is kind of exciting. Let's see. Could re-show up. Well, wait. Star Wars is the best. Yay! Has Ethan done a Star Wars on his love movie talks show yet? Because that would be a good one. You could probably have almost anyone have opinions, and good to talk about. That would be fun. Levi! How's it going? Are you out grubbing, or are you at home? Are the kids watching the Uncle Michael show? It's going good. I'm just back here to chat for a couple minutes while I rest my hand. So probably in another 5 or 10, I'll get back to drawing, working on Computer Girl. We got page 6 mostly inked. Page 7 needs to be penciled and inked. Well, actually here, so here's page 5, which was the end of the last batch of stuff. Here's page 6, which is what I've been working on tonight. You're at home, just me. Boys are watching Bluey. Bluey is a good choice. Oh yeah, Levi, if you just hopped on after you answered Gypped Raccoon, Emily and I should both be over on Albarian on Sunday. So come by, get a drink. Which reminds me, Murray, I think I said it in the text, but I don't know how much you guys can read the text while you're playing. I love that you can now ask the bot for a refill, and then it'll answer that it's getting you one. That's really fun. For a second, I was just clicking and seeing how many channel points I have, which is silly because it's my own channel. Anyway, so this is page 6. There's a template page. Bluey is great. Goes fairly well. How are you? So this is probably the least finished or penciled page so far. And then there's this one, which is almost done. Inking. Just gotta modify a couple things and then insert, colors and computer graphics. Oh, okay, that's cool. So you just invented it and hid it in there? Cause yeah, I saw. Yeah, let her know. She should watch. That'll be fun. Yeah, cause I noticed on the. What was it? Oh yeah, on the break screen it says, ask Lila for a refill. And I'm like, wait a second. So typed in a bot command and it worked. Also, Murray, obviously on your channel you're the forever DM, but do you like playing D&D as a player? Soaking of which? Thank you for the reminder, sir. Yeah, I like the new layout of the break. That's pretty fun. I am cursed as a forever DM, but love playing his character as well. Supposed to be seeking, but soaking worked. Yeah, soaking totally worked. I was like, I can't tell if he meant that pun or not, but I like it. Okay. Well, I actually have a couple campaigns. Well, one-shots. I have a couple one-shots. One that I wrote, one that I have free ones that I want to run with people. So, both of you, actually everyone I think who's on here, at least that I know was on here, I wanted to play. Maybe not all at once. Murray would probably be a little harder. I know Levi and Chad I could probably get in the same room. Totally meant it, Shifty Eyes. But at some point I want to DM for all y'all. Probably all y'all at different times, but I did it recently and it was really fun. Actually, I found that I, at least those couple times, almost enjoy DMing more than character playing, which kind of surprised me, but makes sense. Oh, Levi! Totally changing the subject, but holiday specials? I don't. Actually, no, I probably do. I feel like I have a couple. Emily has one that she ran. That one was fun. I think I own a couple. I haven't looked at them. Basically, I have this one guy that I follow, and like every couple weeks, it's like, here's a new adventure for free. I'm like, sweet. So I claimed a ton of them, but I often don't look at them. And then the reason I actually used the one I did was visiting with some friends, and we're all like, we should play D&D, especially because they had one person who hasn't really played, and the one time she did, it was a bad experience. So we're like, well, we got to get her in on it in a good way. So, but it was like 6 people, which seems like a lot to me. So I went through all the adventures and found one that had 6 players, and that was actually a really. I was like, when I found it, it was like Steam Games and Zach, right? Except Steam Games you have to pay money for. These are free. Actually, I should tell you guys, if you're interested, there's a place where you can sign up on a subscription basis for a ton of mini prints, where it's like $15 a month. It's called Loot Box Studios, I think. And let me see if I can find it. But it's $15 a month, and you get access to like, I think it's like up to 20 files to print. You know, it's like Hero Forge. No loot boxes? Or is that a don't tempt me, Frodo? No, so basically it's like Hero Forge, where you get the files to print. You don't get to design them, but it's a ton of really high detail ones. Wait, what? LinkedIn just told me that someone I knew in high school is a senior talent program manager at Twitch. I wonder if that's Twitch as in this. That'd be interesting. Maybe I could reach out. Anyway. Why no loot boxes, Levi? Loot Studios. How do I find their website? I don't need the Loot Studios. Oh, yeah, EA burned us with that, certainly. Come on, let me find the... Give me your website at the bottom of your page. Let's go to Instagram. Log in to see the content. Oh yeah, it logged me out and I don't remember my stuff, so I'm not going to use that now. Loot Studios. Well, I can't get access to it now, but Google search Loot Studios minis, and you should be able to find it. Oh, Fallen Order. I want to play that. He gave you Fallen Order? That's pretty cool. Yeah, no, I've heard. That game looked incredible. All right, I'm gonna. Okay, come over. I will sometime. Actually, with art commissions, I actually probably have a little more. Well, it's like weird. I don't have to have scheduled work, but I need to still work on stuff. So we're getting back to that work-life balance thing. Technically, my schedule could be a little freer, so I might be able to make time for that. But we'll talk later. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna put this ice pack away and draw more. All right, quick while he's away. But what are you gonna do while he's away? You gotta say the plan. What are we gonna do while he's away? I know. Spam the chat. I haven't had any robots asking me if I wanted to be famous today. Honestly, I have no idea what determines if you're gonna get that, because like someday, like the last time I streamed, run! Last time I streamed, there was like 2 or 3 bots. I'm also thinking of doing a art piece where it's like a robot genuinely sad because it's genuinely, the robot is genuinely trying to help you be famous. It's like, don't they want to be famous? Right? That would be so sad. You know, so it's like commentary on, you know, so streamers would get it, I hope. But I feel like that'd be one that'd be a little tricky to get the idea across. But I like the idea. I might do it sometime. Anyway. Let's see. Let's get back to drawing a barn. Weather vane rooster. Let's get something very, very, very stereotypical. Unless it's a cyborg rooster. Oh, Murray, I know Levi and I are. Are you excited for the Dune movie, which is going to come out? I don't know if you know Dune. I was excited for the movie because it looked cool, and now I'm reading the book, which I had never read before. Although, actually, I seem to remember that I tried starting it years ago, and then stopped pretty quick because at the time I thought it was weird. But it's weird because I just got like halfway through the book, and there's a scene that I feel like I remember. I'm like, I feel like I remember this. Did I get halfway through this book before and blank out on it? So worried. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, even just seeing the trailers, I'm like, okay, I don't quite see this being like the book per se, but probably still good. And lately I've been far better at doing that with movies, where it's like, okay, I can like both. Like Ready Player One, Stardust, The Martian. They're all ones where it's like, you know, these are not the same as the book. Although Martian was really close. Alright, what was I doing? Oh, yeah. Rooster. So, Stardust is a rare one to hear on the list of good books or movies, or no? You never had me watch the first movie, Levi. I've never seen it. I've seen the trailers for that, and you've shown me like a couple scenes, but I have never seen it. So, Murray, are you saying Stardust is a rare one to hear people even mention, or that it's a good movie and a good book? Because that'd be kind of sad. Although I could see why some people have different feelings. Yeah, I was barely aware of Stardust originally, but then Chad actually, the Carlos Bandito who wrote the comic that I'm drawing now, introduced me to it at some movie night, and I love the movie, and then I read the book, and it's very different, but both good. Original Dune movie now, Levi? Is that what I'm detecting? I do kind of want to see Patrick Stewart in that, although he doesn't really fit the description of Mr. Gurney. But that's okay. Yeah, so a lot of the new actors, I'm like looking at, some of the actors I'm like, you are like the perfect actor to play this, I think. And others I'm like, you are not the actor to play this. But I'm excited by the cast list regardless of looks. It's like, this will be a fun movie to see just the actors of. So have you just seen it or read it, Murray? Both? Either? Neither? The movie is a great feel-good fairy tale, and the book is a great bittersweet fairy tale. Oh, okay, bad, good 80s movie. See, that was the impression I got. Yeah, you've done both? Sweet! See, that's the thing that I think is even less common. Someone will have seen the movie and not read the book. So, hurrah! Okay, that's another one we need to do on Ethan's show, is Stardust. Because that is great. Yeah, the good, bad 80s movies, huh? Right? What am I doing? Intense is one word to describe it. I feel like there's a variety of meanings that could have. Probably true, too. But yeah, I really liked it. I like fairy tales where they... There's something about stories where they actually have and maintain and address in some way the bittersweet of life. Like Lord of the Rings does that too. Wait a second. Okay, cool. But some of them are deeper, I think, in that respect, or they address it differently. Like The Last Unicorn, which I have only seen part of the cartoon of, and don't really have a strong desire to see the rest of. But the book is incredible, and I know I'm talking too fast because I'm excited. I know a lot of people. I know some people like that movie and some people hate that movie. And I thought it was weird when I saw it. But the book is so is also really good. Oh, so Levi especially, but I'm assuming Murray, since you also obviously like Dune. Tragic Beauty. Yeah! Exactly. Okay, so I'll finish saying what I was saying and then ask a question. But I actually was reading or listening to the audiobook of Dune and like just had the need, so I did super rough sketches of like several of the characters, so you might see little Dune sketches soon. Actually, the most in-depth drawings I did were of the Duke and of oh, actually, I could show it. Huh. Anyway, so yes, what are your guys' favorite tragic beauty books or movies? I feel like it's harder to pull off well in movies. So here's my super rough Dune sketches. Oh, okay, so he's the narrator of Dune. Yeah, I liked him. I like him. I'm still in the middle of it. Island of the Dolphins. Really? Okay, so I feel like I had read that at one point, or maybe I just read chapters. So here's... But okay, Island of the Dolphins. I'll need to add that to the list. Is that the same person who wrote Lightbringer? Oh, really? Okay. I haven't gotten far enough yet where there's that much tragic beauty. I could totally see him being able to write that really well. Because I'm only in the first book. I've only finished the first book. There's definitely a ton of tragic humanity, but in the good sense. And yeah, he's written everything else he's come across really well, so I would totally see him doing tragic beauty well. Yeah, Lightbringer. I like that book. Oh, let's see. Tragic Beauty. Fantasties by George MacDonald. Sorry, the wrist is acting up. And now I'm letting you guys see the Dune art. And Howard. Yeah, the Duke and Howard are the most in-depth I got. Yeah, Fantasties by George MacDonald. At the Back of the North Wind by George MacDonald. Smith of Wooten Major by Tolkien, actually. It's like a short story. Really? That would explain it. He seemed like I thought I recognized the narrator, but I totally didn't place him. Yeah, I like the reader of Lightbringer. He does a really good job. Oh, that's weird. It looks like it sent your message out of order, because you said Simon Vance did wonderfully, and then you mentioned Lightbringer. Interesting. I don't know if it's one of my favorite ones, but Julie of the Wolves, which I just reread for the first time, was actually decent in that. Oh my gosh. What is it called? Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss is incredible for tragic, like the whole story, the way he writes just seeps tragic beauty. Like I still think that's the best, and by best, I mean like for a feeling of strong writing, which probably actually isn't good if like you're conscious of the writing. It's not necessarily the best, but like I felt like Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss is like no, it wasn't best written, most beautifully written book I've read, like ever. Because yeah, the just like the introduction is full of it, and like so many chapters, like just what he writes and says through the whole book is full of that feeling. It's intense. Alright, let's get back to Computer Girl. I feel like there should be a word in another language for that. There's words in other languages for a lot of these feelings, but anyway. Okay, let's see if I can finish this panel in a half hour. I would kind of hope I can. Oh, Hedge Knight. Oh, and Inkheart. Dang, yeah, Inkheart. Like all the Inkheart books. Those get dark. Like really, really dark. I wasn't expecting that because I thought... I don't know if it's marketed as, but I thought it was like a kid's fantasy, and it's kind of not. But I really appreciate, because it's a lot more realistic. It's like, yeah, you're given power to rewrite the world, you'll probably screw it up. But I like that one. It's been a while since I read it. Yeah, Hedge Knight. Oh, Rothfuss is your favorite author, Murray? Yay! Another reason for us to be friends. Ha! Chad also. Oh, Thief Lord. Oh yeah, so what is her name? Oh jeez. Oh yeah. Oh. I knew it. I was just talking about it. Anyway, yeah. Her stuff's interesting. It's she has a very different style, and I'm sure some of that is because it's translated. And I don't, so I don't speak German, which is what she writes in. So I don't know how much of that Carrie is just caught up in what she wrote, and if maybe it's even better in German. I'm sure it is. But it was interesting because like a lot of it just felt different, and not like story-wise. It's just how like the feel of those books seemed different. But I did like them. Yeah, I read. Oh, what is her name? Tosca? Ooh. Tosca. Yay, there's a word for that? Thank you, Murray. Word. Tosca. Ache of soul, longing with nothing to long for. State of spiritual distress or existential torment, deep wordless sadness that no non-Russian can understand. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, like the first definition of that almost fits with at least like hints of what C.S. Lewis talks about with I think it's Sehnsucht, which is German, where the longing aspect. Interesting. So this, and an anguish in the bottom of the heart. Huh. Delicate the soul, sick pining, spiritual anguish. Personally, I think for me, except for like the most possible intense version of it, I feel like that's a little, well, at least by the definitions I'm reading on here, that's a little bit more, I guess, a depressed version than I typically think of it as. Yeah, certainly longing. And see, then we get into, I'm sure we all experience it a little differently. Cornelia Funk, yes, thank you. Yeah, no, I've read or listened to a lot of her books. I like them. Lorelorn, ooh, yeah, Russian. Lorelorn, interesting. Maybe. Let's see. Define lorelorn. Oh, forlorn. Let me look it up. Anyway, so yeah, now we're getting to semantics, but I love talking this stuff, so I'm glad you guys are on here. I love language. Forlorn. A bird in a cage is a forlorn one that is sad or lonely because of being deserted, abandoned, or desperation. See, so those carry a lot of like the deep sadness aspect, but I feel like they don't quite have the beautiful sadness, the tragic beauty. again, this is me quickly Google searching and maybe, not capturing how you think of the word or what the word actually is, because I only find certain definitions. So, but yeah, I like the the words in other languages that you can't translate, but that actually describe what you mean or think. Just language in general is cool. I'm actually going through a podcast slowly about the history of the English language, but it has a ton of like etymology and where words were and what they used to be. You, Levi? Nah. It's literally just called the history of the English language podcast. Because he makes a point that it's like so it's the history of the language itself. Oh, thank you. But it's like not just this slowly changed, but it's like the history surrounding it. So it's like, oh yeah, that word we got because the Romans invaded, and this word. Like, so, this is a super basic example, and I already knew this, but it's like the fact that, Tsar and Kaiser both mean Caesar in German and Russian, so literally they're calling themselves Caesar, however many hundreds of years after the Romans. And, like, I learned a lot about, like, the steppe culture of Europe, because he's talking about, like, parts of human development, so there's a lot of anthropology in this podcast, so I'm sure you'd love it, Levi. Like, I learned that we apparently domesticated horses for meat before we ever domesticated cows, and that all humans had a lactose intolerance until we started domesticating them and absorbing their enzymes. Let's see, what's another cool thing? Well, the Brothers Grimm, one of the brothers was actually, like a law student, studier, and like language. So he actually invented a law that they use. I forget which Brother Grimm of fairy tale fame discovered or invented a law, which I guess they still use in linguistics and etymology stuff, that like it has to do with how the words will deteriorate or switch. It's like language is more likely that, I'm trying to remember what his is, but there's stuff like, words will tend to shift away from a K sound to a J sound. I forget what it actually is, but it's things like that. So it's like, oh yeah, we can, and so with these things we can tend to at least take a decent guess at how ancient languages would have sounded just by how the languages tend to shift. And so that's interesting stuff that I never knew. Oops, I erased the wrong side of the diagonals. Oh, and like, I guess apparently the Brothers Grimm were collecting their fairy tales because they wanted to help define and understand what made German culture German, and like what German law should be, because like they were involved in law issues. And I forget if it was, I think they were partially involved in this, but like the reason, I think it was the reason we discovered Sanskrit or learned to translate it, was because So the East India Trading Company, which, as we all know from Pirates of the Caribbean, was evil and took over the world type stuff. Apparently, at least in one point, they were less trying to take over the world. Like in India originally. So maybe this is their fall to darkness. Ooh. Originally, they were a business corporation. India's government fell apart, so to save profits, but also help with the chaos, they started trying to take over. Just not take over, but create stability. By controlling, by having there be a government and some level of order. But then they wanted to have it where the Indian people would still have their own law. It's not like they're just going to say, hey, you're all European now, follow English laws. So they tried to, well, yes, of course. Then a lot happened. Then you lot happened. You live here now, sir. Actually, that's an interesting question, which I'll come to in a second. No. So, I'm not saying the English tried to take over the world. I know the English did, but the East India Trading Company in particular. Anyway, but they were like, okay, so we want the Indian people to still have Indian law be the basis of stuff. We want them judged fairly based on that law. And I'm like, well, that's pretty decent. But then, apparently, because all the old law books were written in Sanskrit, or, it was just common law stuff, the English judges would have no idea if the lawyers were telling the truth about what the law actually was. They would say things like, oh, yes, the law says that this person should have to pay this. And the judges are like, maybe, I don't know. Is that what the law says? So they brought in linguists to, translate and codify old law books so that they could more accurately and fairly judge India based on Indian culture. And I was like, that is really cool and fascinating. And I feel like one of the Brothers Grimm was part of that project. I might be mixing up stories. But basically, that podcast has a lot of that type of stuff in it. It's like, okay, the language is influenced by this history. So here's this history about the language. Sometimes it gets a little old, but overall it's good. Murray, so you said would you consider yourself more American or British? And either answer is fine. British, okay. Why is that? Because I thought you moved. I remember you moved here. I forget how old you were, but I'm curious now. Do tell. Do tell. Are you still a British citizen? Also, I don't know how that works because I know there's certain countries that have dual citizenship, or maybe you just stayed a citizen even though you live here. And of course, don't answer parts you're not comfortable with. But if you want to share, I have questions, and I'm fascinated. So. It's the side that speaks to me most? Oh, okay. Like, personally preferred. Oh, interesting. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know which you could even have dual citizenship with. I think I heard someone saying, you could only have it with Canada, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. I'm pretty sure it's not. Yeah, that could be. Probably also depends on what you mean by allied. Because aren't there like different levels of being allies? You know, because you could be friendly and you can be allied, but those aren't the same thing. At least not to my mind. You know, ally is a technical legal term. Murray, when you're writing world building stuff, would you think more influenced by real world history, or just your imagination, or fantasy, or all of the above? To me, all of the above makes sense. It's like, oh, that's a good story, I'll take that, or this is a real thing that happened, I'll take that. Or is it more of a mishmash where you don't even necessarily think? Ally meaning UN, I think. No, that's not right, not UN. All of the above. Okay, yeah, that makes total sense. Because, yeah, all of them have plenty of stuff to mix and mash and be creative with. My campaigns are chock full of historical references and fantasy world callouts. Nice. Oh, he was literally named Horatio Nelson. Nice. I actually don't know too much about Lord Nelson. I read a book where it had Duke of Wellington, who was from this, same war and era, and basically the land version of Nelson is kind of my understanding. And then I actually, last couple years, have been slowly reading through a book about Napoleon, because he's, obviously a highly significant historical figure, and I was like, I don't even know anything about him. And so, Costco had a book about him. I was like, sweet, done. And it's really interesting and fascinating. Why am I... Oh, because I cut and pasted the rooster. I liked the couple episodes I saw of that Horatio Hornblower show with Johan Griffith, with his weird Welsh Scandinavian name, where it totally isn't spelled the way it's said in English. That's the one I saw, at least. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think I saw like 2 episodes of that. The library, had some. It's like, I'll take, sailing. That's cool. I actually own the books, but I haven't really read them. Actually, I might have given them away. I was purging some bookshelves down, and some of the things that I hadn't read in years finally went. Some of them didn't, you know. There's definitely all the ones where it's like, but I'll read it soon. Also, Murray, do you work in the morning? Do you need to go to bed? Which is not trying to get rid of you, but trying to look out for you. Okay. Well, I'll only be on for another 5 minutes or so anyway. So, if you actually take off, let me know. But, in case you jumped off right when I said that, it has been wonderful having you. Thank you for joining in for the raid again. Hey, gotta get. Oh, yeah. We do gotta do that. Yeah, I was planning to. Emily, I was planning to do that. When I got off of here. But yes, thank you for reminding me. You only joined to tell me about the chores we gotta do? Jeez. Ah. Ideas to finish? Does any of that in part of Sunday? Is Sunday being planned? Okay, so that's gonna be bright color, bright color, bright color. No. Okay, fine. That's okay too. That's okay. Okay, wait. How did I do this? Okay, so there's the window. That's the okay. So it needs to be like that. We like ideas, men. Ideas, men around here. And I do believe I got this panel at least mostly done. Cool. Yeah. Wife power. Oh. Wife move. It is. Amy's going to take me. Oh. Okay. Well then, fine. I guess you don't need me. She doesn't need me anymore. Well, I can do it if you're still here. I can do it. Just about done anyway. Alright. Cool. Well, there's most of this page, apart from the first... Ah! Hi, Amy.
Hi. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
I can do it.
Nope.
Okay, fine. Fine. Steal her, why don't you?
Yes, finally!
Goodbye. Goodbye. Good day, sir. I good day. Oh, and you guys are getting they're getting the weird echo. Okay, anyway. So there's most of this page. As I said earlier, I gotta figure out the top panel. Bye, Emily. Michael, if you need a couch to stay on. Oh no, she's the one leaving. I don't need a couch. She's the one walking out the door. I got a key. I think I have more keys than she does. Oh wait, no, hold on. She's by the front door. Hold on. Because my key's there. Nah, she's already gone. She didn't hear that. She didn't steal my keys. Anyway, so yeah, page almost done. Good run. Oh, geez. Okay, cool. That's it for tonight. Thank you so much for being here, guys. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the conversation. And got some work done. Which is, again, you know, the reason I stream. Or it was the reason I started streaming. Excuse me. Was, you know, to make sure I got work done. Because people will be there. Always a hoot. Yes, yes. When Lily Crunch is being drawn. Hoo-hoo. Anyway. Thanks again, guys. I will talk to you soon. Yeah, Levi, that was really great. I'm glad you were here. Good conversations had by all. At least I felt so. So, yeah, I'll talk to you later. Next streaming, I believe, will be Friday, and then I might do something Saturday morning. Maybe some Magic or Keyforge. Actually, you know, do either of you want to play Magic or Keyforge on Saturday morning? Anyway, talk to you later, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night. Bye.